What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Tuffy Talk Live Show, y'all. But we got part 2 coming in here for y'all. As again, I appreciate y'all tuning in. First of all, just as a reminder, if you haven't already, this is going to be a call-in show. So meaning that if you want to be able to join in and hear with us, ask questions, give your thoughts as well, kind of like your Twitter, kind of like a Twitter space, but basically here on the Tuffy Talk Live Show, make sure again, click the link in the description, and then we'll bring you all in here as soon as we can. And also too, if you don't want to do that, all you have to do is just say, hey, give us your thoughts, questions in the comments, and we will get into all of them here today. So first of all, y'all, again, I know that Greg, Kens, and Michael did an awesome job on Tuesday night, and glad to be here with y'all for part 2 here. Is again, just with all the craziness, with NC State sports starting on Thursday, going all the way through to Monday, just had no time whatsoever to do anything in terms of episodes. So, but hey, just figured what a better time to do it then, especially too because we were confident enough knowing that we were going to win last night that we said, hey, we'll just do a live show and just talk about the Wake Forest game and leave in a little bit as well. So, and on top of it too, the huge game last night, which is actually not men's basketball, is actually women's tennis, pulling off the huge upset. Got to give a huge shout out right off the get-go to them, pulling off an upset at number 2 Ohio State. I mean, I think it was I saw a tweet from Simon Ershaw, Coach Ershaw, saying that it was the highest ranked win in program history, and on top of it being on the road in Columbus. I mean, all that can't go without being said, and how impressive that is for sure. I see we got King 9 here already. Let's go Pack. Absolutely. Again, I mean, just yesterday was a great day to be an NC State fan for sure. So, yeah.
I mean, you got the word lost has O and ST, so I guess that works out pretty good then, right?
Hey, look at you. Thinking that up on the spot.
He's back after that nap he had the other day.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that game yesterday. Obviously, first of all, the first thing which I want to say two things really is, first of all, I mean, I put the tweet out there basically saying, like, I think everybody can expect that Jeff Capel right now is the favorite to win ACC Coach of the Year, and rightfully so. I mean, again, he's, I think him and Keats are kind of in the same boat in terms of last year. Both teams and pretty much for the most part as of recently, I would say really in Coach Capel's entire tenure so far at Pitt, it's been slacking. And so for him to all of a sudden turn that around and be a 2/3 seed in the ACC, pull off as many big upsets as he did. I mean, hey, as of right now, he's the only coach to come into PNC Arena this year and beat us. So, I mean, got to give your hats off to that, right? But I mean, Kevin Keats should be still 100% in that conversation. No ands or buts about it. And I think it's honestly just Capel and Keats in their own tier right now. And then, I mean, you can always talk about Tony Bennett, whatever. But I mean, but still, I think that, you give the ACC Coach of the Year to the best team if there's not really anybody that necessarily stands out otherwise. But I think with what the turnaround that Keats and Capel have done this year, they're in a tier of their own. But Michael, would you agree with that synopsis?
Yeah, and I think Brad Brownell also had an argument at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, that's
which he I don't know. He may still, depends on if they finish the season strong. I mean, they still have UVA, so if they go out and beat UVA, I mean, they look great against Syracuse last night. They beat them by 20 something. I don't know. He could get back in it, but yeah, for right now, I think it's between Capel and Keats.
It's tough to give it to a coach whose team is still on the bubble, NCAA bubble, in my opinion.
That's true too.
But,
yeah.
Well, I hear what you're saying.
Steve Forbes won it last year, and they didn't make it.
That's true.
So there is precedent for it. So
that's true. That's true. Kens, I know you and your boy Keats go ways back, so I know I don't have to ask you your opinion on that, right?
We actually have. He forgave me.
You hugged it out.
Yeah, we're friends now at the spring game. I mean, you just have to shoot your shot and be like, "Hey, can you unblock me?" And he did. So we're buddies now. I'm at every game. So hey, but no. I think that. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I feel like we're kind of biased, but I just feel like
No.
State had a
yeah.
State had a better turnaround than Pitt, in my opinion.
Well, I mean,
Like
again, yeah.
we
Yeah.
literally were like dead last in the
If-
ACC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you look at it from where we finished last year,
It's a fair
but
point.
you can also look at it from where the preseason predictions, because
Yeah,
even this year we were still
Oh, I
picked
have
10th.
those.
11th, 12th.
Yeah.
but
So
Pitt was like next to last, I think. So
Mhm.
yeah, so SI, they had us as 12.
yeah,
12. They had Clemson as 10, and Pitt as 13. Now, if you go to the
Yeah.
ACC, when you add up all of the media, they had us as 10th, Pitt as 14th, and Clemson as 11.
But
Yeah.
see, another thing too, which I would even kind of throw into that is that kind of like what King Knott is saying is that I think that something that should also be taken into consideration is throughout the season the team has gotten better and better and better. But I honestly think that just like he's saying now, like if we face Pitt, I think we'd beat them.
I think 100%
yeah,
we'd be undefeated at home if we'd have played that game
later.
now or later.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, no, for sure. Which if some butts are candy and nuts, but I mean, it's just a matter of that. I think that we're, it's kind of like what Avon says. You want to be playing your best ball in June. Well, for basketball, you want to be playing your best ball in late February, March, and we are right now for sure. I mean, dude, Jarkel Joyner is absolutely lighting it up. I mean, I think
ACC Player of the Year. I'm putting it.
Well, I think he's. I don't know if he's there, but I think he's definitely like kind of. He's definitely on the back end of that conversation, definitely moving up fairly quickly. I mean, going from a triple double to over 22 points, in 2 straight games.
There's only been 3
29.
triple doubles all year in all of basketball.
Yeah.
It's what?
So
there's only been 3 triple doubles in all of college basketball this year,
that.
and Joyner's got one of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and because again, I mean, I think that you look at the last 2 games specifically, and without Joyner, you're not winning those games.
Exactly.
I mean, just because, I mean, obviously Wake Forest, Big T once again gets into foul trouble early. So you really had to rely a lot on Joyner. And then UNC, it just took a while for your T to get, he started off strong, but then he kind of wavered off and they kind of came back. But I mean, Joyner was the highlight from UNC. I mean, his stretch was what, I think stands out the most on the highlight reel. So, it's great. It's great right now because again, I mean, and now the one thing which I do want to say, which Keenan also mentions, is about Jack Clark. And as far as I know, I haven't heard anything today. Any updates? Am I correct, Greg?
So
I saw
what Macon posted in our chat, and that person looks like his mom, and he said he's fine. So
yeah,
he Turquavion did a live stream after the game last night, and everybody I guess was asking in the comments, and he said that he went over to Jack and Jack said he was good.
Yeah,
it was for precautionary reasons.
I think he'll be okay. Yeah,
I think so.
I'm sure it was just sore as crap, and I'm sure he just needed.
I mean, he landed hard. I'm surprised it wasn't worse than that. That made me hurt when I watched it.
I mean, it was head, neck, shoulder. I felt like I was doing that head, neck, shoulder, like that whole little skit.
Head,
yeah. He got a little bit of everything. Yeah.
I kind of call it like a reverse scorpion, where instead of folding up like this, he just folded like this, and
I didn't know what I was like. Obviously, I didn't want him to be hurt, but I was like, do I want it to be like a concussion or do I want it to be a shoulder injury? But I'm like, shoulder injury, concussion. I don't know which is worse. So I was just freaking
they both can be bad depending on the severity, obviously.
Right?
But I don't know if you see him because it's a quick turnaround Wednesday to Saturday. I don't know if you see him there. Obviously
definitely see him at Duke. I think
I feel like you would probably see him, if not definitely back at the ACC tournament. If what he's saying is true in the locker room, and if that really was his mom. So
yeah. Well, and especially too, and that's the thing that really sticks out to me is like, just imagine what if Clark and Dusan were healthy? Like, and a lot of people are saying, well, like, do we really want them to come back? And obviously, what was it? It was the Virginia game that we were like, no, you wanted Dusan back, but also too, just Go ahead.
Oh, good. I don't know why. I just feel like Dusan's gonna do one of those like legendary things where like the day of the ACC tournament, he's just gonna post something and be like, "I'm back."
Yeah.
That's all he's gonna do. I just feel like that's coming. I don't know.
Or like he has like a shirt and it has like a Superman under it or something like
right?
that. You know,
He
and he's
ripped
just
his
ready to
shirt
go
off right before the game. Some like cool stuff.
Well, and I mean, because
probably not going to happen, but I feel like it is.
In our heads, this is how we see things in our heads
Right?
as fans.
Legendary.
Well, and because looking at him too, I mean, like looking at him walking, you know, looking at his, like just his feel, it just seems like it's more of just that he's waiting for him to feel comfortable playing. But I mean, I think that at least from how he looks, it doesn't look like he's limping or anything like that.
I mean,
it doesn't look like he's uncomfortable. Yeah, it's just
when
that
he's jumping, celebrating. He looks perfectly fine.
I saw him last Sunday after the Carolina game, and he's just walking around like you wouldn't know it if you didn't know, you wouldn't know. So,
right.
Yeah, I think it's just something deep that he just has to get comfortable with, and that the staff feels comfortable enough with him throwing him out there.
Yeah,
and some of it just might be conditioning. Like, I mean, when you have a leg problem, you can't run. I mean, so it's just getting in.
Would you know, Greg?
I've never had a leg injury, so I would not be the one to ask that question.
I bet every time someone gets a leg injury, Greg's like, "No, man up."
Yeah, dirt, let's go.
Yeah,
unless the bone's sticking out, you're good.
Pulled out of your leg,
right?
Yeah,
but no, I think because if you heard what Keats was talking about, Clark coming back, he's was talking about conditioning. So it may be something as that simple. But we'll see. Hey, if we keep winning, we don't need them, but it's always good to have them.
Well, and especially too, because I mean, first of all, I mean, somebody which I think doesn't get, because I think we've, in terms of when we talk about guys that don't get talked about enough, I think one guy is obviously Casey Morsell for sure. But also too, a guy that I think doesn't get talked about enough is EB. I think EB has absolutely stepped up this year. And because we've needed him a lot, especially too, because once Dusan went out, and knowing that DJ, he's not going to play 40 minutes, that, especially in the heat of competition, like Baycott, for example, you needed EB to step up. Like, because again, I mean, if he goes out there and, is not productive, I mean, Baycott, is going to be all over him. And in fact, I would actually honestly say that Keats almost seemed to almost prefer having EB against Baycott than Burns, just because of the fact that, build wise, they're much more similar. But again, just like Ken's saying, 5 more fouls. So
especially
put Chase Graham in there if we start getting into foul trouble.
I think Michael was hitting the nail on the head there. EB for me is more of a defensive guy. He can go in and step in and get some block shots, some rebounds, do some dirty work.
What would be perfect is if you could do like hockey subs and put EB in when you're going back on defense, and then put Burns back in when you're going up the floor on offense.
Just tag in.
And that's why too. I mean, like, again, that's why, because not to say that he is obviously replacing Mahorchik, because Mahorchik will give you the both sides. He'll give you the offense and the defense. But I mean, at least to be able to have a guy that can go in there and hold down the fort while DJ Burns is either dealing with foul trouble or resting. That's huge. That's huge to have.
I think DJ stepped it up a lot too. I mean, because before the beginning of the season, he couldn't be in for a long period of time. Now he's in like 25 to 30 minutes a game. And it's like, he's tired, but he's like, you know what? Screw it. Like, let's do it.
I do think his defense is a little underrated.
His passes are underrated.
His passes, and he'll have a silly region foul here and there, but like under the basket, he's not jumping and like throwing his body at people. He's just, part of that is because he's so big, he just kind of stands there and plays good defense with his hands up. No.
Go ahead, Greg.
No, I'll let you finish your thought, and I'm gonna throw some numbers out, and you tell me which person you think this is.
Okay, well, I'm ready for that now. Go for it.
You ready for it?
I'm ready for it now. Yeah, no, now you got me interested.
All right, all right. One of these people is Mahorchik, and the other isn't. All right, you ready?
Okay.
Are you trying to figure out who the person that isn't, who they are?
No, I want you to tell me who is Mahorchik and who isn't.
Oh,
all right, and if you guess who that person is, then go for it.
So person A.
Person A. 12.8 points, 5 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 0.8 blocks. All right.
Okay.
Person D. 8.7 points, 6.6 rebounds, 0.2 assists, 0.7 blocks.
All right. I mean, it makes me almost
One
want
is
to believe
Mahorchik.
it's A, you know, but
Yeah,
just
is it
by
the
the way,
first
by the way you answer, by the way you asked the question that it's player A being the better one, being Mahorchik.
No, I'm not saying who.
But
I'm not saying. What? No, which one are you saying is Mahorchik? A or B?
I say A. Yeah, we
Nope.
say A.
It's DJ Burns.
B.
Mahorchik is
Nice.
B.
King.
So
They're gonna build that statue outside of PNC. I'm telling you.
So the fact
And I'm
is that we have been able to replace Mahorchik, right? So that's number one. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2, you have all the other pieces, right? You have the Jack Clarks, you have the Ernest Rosses, you have the EBs. So that's just extra cheddar. So I think that I think we've done a great job of replacing Mahorchik.
Yeah.
Not to say I wouldn't want that extra production, but it hasn't dropped off, and that was the fear we had.
Yeah.
I think they've stepped up, honestly. I feel like they realized that, hey, one guy goes down, now we got to step it up to cover it, or it could happen that it's the same season as last season. So I feel like the entire team has a different vibe to it. And I've never been more excited for a tournament because I really think that we're playing the ball right now I say Natty. I also say ACC. We're bringing 2 trophies home.
AC first. Well, and the biggest thing, which I'll say 2 things. First of all, I think that if you bring Mahorchik back, you can almost play 2 different styles of offense. Wow, because with the Mahorchik, you can go up and down the court very quickly. Where Burns, you almost kind of want to slow it down, get the ball to Burns, get him back and down, and let him decide what to do with it, whether it's go to the basket or pass it out. That's
why
a
not
dangerous
play them
thing.
together too.
Or play him. Ooh, man, dude, play him together.
That would be
because now then you play Burns off of their, you put Burns on their 4 instead of the 5, and it's probably not as much of a foul liability, right? Again, depending on who you're playing, you kind of then are protecting Burns. Dude, you can run so many options out. You got Clark, you can go Clark Burns, you can go Clark Mahorchik if Burns needs a breather. Like it opens
Ernest?
up. Yeah, you still have Ernest. You just so many different possibilities now that the teams have to be prepared for, and there's so many different scoring options. Then that, it's like, pick your poison. Who are you guarding? That leaves Marcel open for a 3, right? Like he's deadly on those 3s in the corner. That seems to be his spot. All right. You want to pick someone else off? Now you're leaving T open. Or I mean, just so many. It's a plethora of riches.
And Casey's going through a hand injury right now, so just him being able to play that kind of ball while going, because you can tell during games that he's
got it wrapped.
And onto it, and like it's a problem for him. But the way that he can still play, and
that happened against Georgia Tech.
Need to stop shooting air balls, but I'm like, Marcel, bro, you're like one of the best 3-point shooters, and you're shooting all these 3 balls, man. I mean, air balls, stop it.
But if you noticed, T's had his hand wrapped for a while too.
Yeah,
that's true. Jarkel had his wrapped yesterday, it looked like.
He did.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, I don't know what it is, man. Stop high-fiving or something, right?
All that 2K. It's all that 2K they're playing.
All that 2K. Yeah.
It's something.
Got carpal tunnel from video games.
So I will say,
honestly.
So I will say, state women are playing at number 11 Duke right now, and we're up 15-14 at the end of the first quarter. Sanaya Rivers is back. Sanaya Rivers is back.
Diamond Johnson isn't though, right? She's not playing.
Nope, not
so yet. that would be a pretty big upset if we can win.
So maddening if they win that game.
Yeah.
Don't get it.
Well, and again, Virginia Tech.
It's like men.
And again, we'll talk women's here in a minute. Let's finish up men a little bit here.
Yeah.
But just want to kind of give an update of what's going on with that game. So Jason's asked a question. So since Burns had no fouls versus Wake Forest, can we bank any for the Clemson game?
That'd be nice.
I wish that was the thing.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Really that would be nice to have. Yeah,
he gets 10 fouls against Clemson.
Yeah, he gets 10 fouls against Clemson.
Yeah, they're not like rollover minutes.
Their guy.
Yeah,
they're not rollover minutes. Well, especially
remember those
with Clemson,
rollover minutes.
They have
I'm
their
so
one
old.
center.
I'm so old.
I mean, now unlimited minutes is almost like a given. So but anyway, and then Michael Taylor says no matter what, rebounds are going to be key. Can't let any team get more than one crack at the basket anytime. And I know UNC, that was some that it seemed that we struggled. But I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't crazy lopsided, but just seemed more lopsided just because of the moments that those offensive rebounds came for UNC. But again, y'all, the other thing which I gotta say as well, you know, like
It
this
was 48-34
team,
on rebounds, just if you're wondering.
yeah. So I mean, so lopsided, but not crazy lopsided. But yeah, but I'll tell y'all, I mean, like this team is probably one of the most exciting teams that I've ever seen in my lifetime. I know for that. I mean, just because of the fact that I know that another team which I could think about is, you know, what was it, 2012, 2013, where you had CJ Leslie, and then you had all these guys, and then you also brought in TJ Warren, Tyler Lewis, Ross, what's his name? The third,
Austin Turner.
No, the third McDonald's All-American, the guy that went to UConn.
Purvis.
Purvis.
Oh yeah.
Purvis. Oh, yeah, Rodney Purvis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rodney Purvis. But so like that was a team like going into it, everybody was like, dude, like that team can absolutely win it all. But this team, I feel like, again, I mean, I think Sidney Lowe said it best. I mean, that they're playing really well and they're playing for each other. And I mean, if you have those two things happening, anything can happen. Like honestly, to me, and I think it actually stood out to me. I was listening to the Field of 68 podcast. I've been listening to the last couple of days because they're just tearing UNC a new one, and I love it. But also too, I mean, they pretty much said they're like in the ACC. I see Miami, I see NC State as the two teams that could be Final Four contenders. I mean,
if we go to a Final Four, oh my gosh! I've already told my mom I'm going to Mexico and get my kidney removed to sell it. We'll be going to a game.
Well, it's in Houston, so right across the border there.
I'm telling you, I'm doing it. I've already warned her. I'm like, look.
I see Hannibal Lecter. I like the nice thing of kidney beans.
Me and Hannah are going together.
Oh, God.
Nice Chianti with, instead of fava beans, kidney beans.
Kidney beans.
Yeah.
Right?
I will say, like, just talking about the unprecedented, I guess, of this team. This is the best overall win percentage we've had since Norm Sloan was the coach. And this is the best ACC percentage overall since Herb Sendek years. So just
crazy.
to put it in perspective, it's been a while. We've been waiting.
And they said it on the broadcast last night. The first, the most regular season win since 1988.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
And again, we're truly are playing our best ball, and we're not even healthy yet. Like, you know,
and
go ahead.
Here's the crazy thing. It's our best ball, and we're only projected to be an 8 seed.
I know.
Like that to me is just like, what is going on right now?
Well, and again, I think a lot of it has to do with automatic bids too. I mean, like the automatic bids always throw a wrench. Like I think for us, unless we are just like top 10, top 15, unless we're just like killing it, we're always probably going to be like in that 7 to 9 seed. Yeah, like just
but what I still don't understand is, and again, you know, take these bracketologists for what you want. I don't know how accurate these guys are. The mere fact that they had Duke as a 6 and us as an 8, I'm like, I don't even understand that. And I know it plays into the net, and if you can figure out the net, you should probably be like a Nobel Peace Prize winner or something, because it makes absolutely zero sense. Zero. And that's a major thing that they take into consideration.
I think if we do beat Clemson on Saturday and go into Cameron and beat Duke next week, I think we probably huge. I think we may
get to a 7.
Up at that on I was gonna say 6 or 7. If Duke's a 6 right now and we beat them, I would hope we'd get up to a 6.
Them.
Now, for me, again, I'm basing this solely off of what I read, and I read too much of this stuff. And like I said, I don't know how smart these people really are, but they get paid to do it, so they must be somewhat intelligent. One would believe. I think we have to beat Clemson, beat Duke, win one in the ACC to get like that 6 or 7, just based off of what they think of the ACC this year. They give
perception.
Correct. So I think we have to win at least 3, maybe 4 to be considered into that 6-7 range.
But again, I mean, like all this talk about NCAA tournament, I'm telling y'all this right now. I mean, I think Miami and State are got to be the 2 favorites to make it to the championship game in the ACC. I mean, I like for me right now, I'm saying because Virginia, I mean, I think they're going to bounce back against UNC. I mean, I think, you know, losing by 11 to BC, that's definitely a fluke. Yeah, that was a
that
terrible
one
loss.
shocked me.
But also too, because again, I think that State. I mean, I just think that first of all, again, we lost at UVA. So if we faced UVA, I think that would be kind of the added, fuel to the fire. But also too, on top of it, I think that, just again, we just score so much. I mean, again, we were scoring at will. Again, I mean, literally T wasn't even like he was productive of a sort, but I mean, he didn't stand out. I mean, DJ Burns and Jarkel Jordan were the guys that stood out, and T's the best guy that we have on our team, in terms of talent. So again, I'm just, and also too, because again, I think Casey Morcell's like, I think he'd have one coming for him. So again, I'm telling y'all, like, I could not be more stoked that I bought tickets for the whole season, for the whole tournament. 2 months ago, because man, like, that is going to be great, and I'm going to be every single game. Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of State fans there.
There needs to be. I'm telling y'all.
I'm telling
y'all. Go to Greensboro Coliseum website. If there's any tickets available, buy them. Buy them. Like, don't think twice. Buy them. Like, it's not necessarily saying like we're winning it all, but what I am saying is that if we do at least make it to the championship game, whatever you're paying for the whole tournament, you'd probably have to pay just on that championship game. Like imagine how much tickets would go for. Imagine the craziness if State even made it to the championship game.
I'm just saying, I'll get tickets and I'm coming to crash at either McKenzie's or Macon's house for the tournament. So
yeah, we got you.
You're definitely coming to ours because me and my mom are more fun. So
wow,
wow.
Greg and my family are on this, so I don't even want to hear about that.
Because we know those hotels are going to be like $500,000 a night. If you can even find one.
Heck, I might go stay at Hannah's. She lives like 10 minutes from the Greensboro.
There you go, even better. Yeah. No, but I honestly think we have a chance, because then we would play. Now let's say we get to the 4 line. Yeah, let's get to that 4 line, right? So let's get to that 4 line, and everything shakes out. I mean, we're probably playing either a Clemson or a Duke on Friday.
Yeah. I mean, it's
semifinals.
Which again, I mean, we just played either of those teams, so it's tough. But I mean, it's tough. But I think that there's going to be enough State fans there that, I mean, it's not going to be.
Well, there would be a lot of Clemson. I think there would be a lot of Clemson and Duke, because Greensboro's not that far from.
They're used to winning. State.
Well, that's the thing. I think Duke kind of sees this as kind of a step back year, so maybe they're not. The excitement level for State fans has got to be through the roof. While with Clemson, Duke is kind of like,
And it is funny, right? Yeah. And if you think about it, like, is Miami going to travel? Probably not. They might travel a little bit. Pitt, uncharted waters for them, so they might, right? But
I mean, they traveled to Charlotte for the ACC championship game, so I mean,
but football's different.
True.
Yeah, football's different.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see the dynamics there.
For sure. So yeah, definitely, y'all. I think it's the second weekend in March. Definitely go check them out. If you can go ahead and get your hands on some tickets, go ahead and do it. But Nick kind of brings up a funny point, saying, imagine if we play Houston in the national championship game, because Houston's looking like a top 4 seed right now.
Yeah, you don't want that because it's in Houston. So like that would
be a home game for them.
That would be a hostile environment.
That would be some NC State right there. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like,
so that means it'll
if we play a championship game against Houston in Houston, that would be some NC State.
Yeah.
Right there.
So the two things that I've been seeing, I've seen this in 2 different brackets. It was the Louisville bracket. We were an 8 seed, playing Memphis in 1, and
Louisville's
the second. What was that?
Louisville's in
Louisville.
You said Louisville's bracket.
The Louisville region, because they don't do East West anymore.
Right.
But it had us play in Houston, and that one had us playing Alabama to advance to the Sweet 16, and the other one had us playing Memphis as an 8-9, and then playing Houston in the second round. So,
which again,
that would be interesting.
Alabama escaped by the hair of their chin against my second team, South Carolina game.
Yeah, well, we won't talk about all those shenanigans, because there's some real shenanigans going on down in Alabama. So
who knows?
For sure. Yeah. So again, obviously Saturday at noon we play Clemson at home.
Sold out.
It's also senior night. Yep, sold out. So who are our for sure seniors?
Well, you count
more eligibility.
Jarkel
and T.
Grads.
Oh, Greg, we lost you, man. No,
Jarkel and Doosan. But if Doosan's out the rest of the year, he could possibly get a medical red shirt, which I'm sure they'll at least put an appeal for that.
Yeah, because he's only played a third of the games.
Is Casey a senior?
No, he's got another year.
He's got another year.
Well,
so
nope.
And then T's going to be in senior day. Yeah, T's going to be senior day. So I mean, to me, so Joyner, Doosan, and T will be in it. I mean, it's kind of interesting.
Burns, because he's technically a grad.
Could be, yeah. He's got another year, but he could
go. He
could just participate in it.
Yeah, well, and I think he should. I mean, not to say I want him. I mean, sure, I'd love to have him again, but I'm just saying he's had a heck of a year this year. So I don't know how he can really top it. You know,
I don't think any of our walk-ons are seniors.
Yeah,
isn't Chase?
Let's see. I got it all right here.
It's Chase or nobody, because I know
he's
Alex
definitely
the
not. Oldest.
Obviously, KJ Keats isn't. So, hey, King not saying
Chase
Burns
is a senior.
Back, so.
Chase is a senior.
Okay,
but he might have a COVID year. So
that's true. That always throws it off.
Hey, you know, I would love to see another Chase Graham 3, you know, in garbage time. Hey, I'm all for it.
Right.
So yeah, no, Chase Graham's the GOAT though. So, but I'm telling y'all.
And Casey can walk. He is a senior, but he does have a year. So we'll see what he does.
Gotcha.
And just because they walk doesn't mean they're.
Yeah,
doesn't mean they're gone. And just because they declare, just because they, declare for the draft doesn't mean that they're necessarily gone either. So, so again, it's a game for sure, to say the least. But anyway, y'all. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about women's basketball here, and then we'll kind of move on from this a little bit. But first thing I do want to say, and I need to check on what's going on with their updates.
24-21, we're down.
Okay. But
Greg was already.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, so again, the tournament starts next week. So to me, I'm still sitting here going, I think everything is still in front of us in terms of like I'm sitting here completely saying I would not be shocked whatsoever if we made a run in the ACC tournament. I mean, just because I think that's really what kind of they're saving Diamond for. It's like Diamond, you just need to sit until the tournament at this point. Yeah. I think that we're solid enough in the NCAA tournament bubble. I would be shocked if we were anywhere close to the bubble.
I mean, we're still like a top 10 or 15 team in the net.
So, what helps us is we had such a strong scheduling out of conference.
And also, I think the Iowa was going to be nice.
So right now we're sitting 8th. So that means we get one bye, right?
Yep, single bye.
8th. So
and we could. Does 7 still get you just one bye?
It's top 4 gets you double bye. Yeah, top 8 gets one bye.
Okay, so we do need to win out to ensure that, because we're 8-8 and Syracuse is 9-9. So
wow, yeah. I mean, I think that because what's the rest of our schedule look like?
We have Pitt. That's it. On Sunday's our last game.
Okay, so. Okay. Yeah, so win out. Yeah, win one more game. So, which again, I don't know where Diamond sits, but all I know is that, man, like it's not productive. It's not effective at all just to have her out there throwing up shots, which as of recently she just hasn't been able to get in the bottom of the bucket. Simple as that, So, and especially too because Isaiah James has looked really good. I mean, hey, if there is one good thing that has happened over the last 2 games, that Isaiah James has absolutely shown up. That's absolutely looks really, really good.
Jada has 2.
And Jada started to come up.
Jakia went off.
Jakia went off against UNC, but then Virginia Tech just, didn't really do much. So again, it's just like, come on, y'all, just lock in. Let's go. Like
I bet Wes is telling them like once the tournament starts, it's a new season, like everything's scratched. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And like, at this point, I don't have any expectations for them, but it's also like I wouldn't be surprised if they did win the tournament.
Right. No.
Just go get another one under their belt.
Yeah. But I'm sitting here like, I'm saying this wanting NC State to win and believing NC State to win. But I'm saying that if you had to ask me who I would bet on to win it all, I think VT is getting my money all day. I mean, VT is just they're so all around like they have so much leadership. They have 3-point shooting. They have a dominant center. They have depth. Like they're such a good team. Like so that would be who my money would be on. But
yeah, I think the finals. I honestly think the finals will be Notre Dame and Virginia Tech.
I agree.
Yeah, Notre Dame's.
Yeah, which I'll cheer for VT 100%. Just for them to finally get their first one for sure. And this I think going into this year, it kind of set up to be their year. With Kitley coming back, and then this seniors that they had coming back. So
and they had some awesome transfers come in too.
Yes, they did.
They had some really good transfers.
Yes, they did. So definitely, again, just we'll see what happens. But again, tournament starts next week. I think tickets for the entire tournament is maybe
$225
for a ticket for the whole tournament, which is again I think 14 games. So well worth it for sure. And again, you could definitely probably sell some, get some of that back even too. So definitely make sure to go check that out if you haven't already. And again, it's in Greensboro. So again, for me, like 30 minutes down the road. For if you're in Raleigh, like a little bit over an hour at most. So depending on where you are. So definitely great location. And again, remind me again, is men's tournament locked into Greensboro for a while?
No.
What
it's here. It's in DC next year.
Jeez, whatever. Oh my God. Like, come on. Like what? Like, are you serious? Come on now. DC? Like, come on, man.
Greg doesn't have to travel that far.
It's good for Greg,
that Northern Virginia traffic, man. Oh,
take the metro that shuts down at 11 o'clock.
Well, guess what? If you come to Greensboro, there's no metro. You just go into the parking lot and you park and you go see a basketball game.
Yeah, for $40. Yeah, an hour. Yeah, I think it's at DC because COVID year was supposed to be DC, and I think they put them on the back of the rotation. So I think it's there, and then I think it's at Charlotte, and then I think it's going back to Brooklyn. Yeah,
at Charlotte. So is it going to be at the Hornets Stadium?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, that'd be kind of cool, actually. So, all right. Well, and then moving on, I wanted to also talk about wrestling a little bit here, as ACC wrestling tournament is at Reynolds Coliseum next Sunday. It's an all-day thing. So I mean, again, it's literally in Reynolds Coliseum. NC State right now is number 3 in the country. Every single wrestler is ranked in the top 30 right now in their respective weight class. And I think you're going to see multiple ACC champions across the board, whether it's I think Isaac Trumbull, you can't count that man out, because that dude is either going to pin somebody or going to get pinned pretty much every single match. And then I think Trent Hidlay, just go ahead and put Trent in as the ACC champion. Let's move on. And then Owen Trayvon, like I love our heavyweight right now. I think that has been a huge storyline this year. So again, y'all just go check it out. And I think tickets are probably what, $10-$20,
maybe,
something like that.
Oh, for the wrestling tournament? It was probably $20-$25. I think it's what we paid last year. Yeah, it wasn't very much.
So make sure to go check that out, y'all. Again, it's all day affair in Reynolds Coliseum. State, I think, has a great chance of winning a ACC title. Which, and I'll tell y'all this right now, like when we lost to VT at Virginia Tech this year, I pretty much said, okay, we didn't win the ACC, we didn't win the regular season ACC championship this year. That's okay. Like, it's all good. Like, I think that pretty much every single year, pretty much whoever's hosted that duel has won the ACC regular season ACC championship. And,
so I lied.
Completely respectable.
$10.
Go ahead.
$10.
Wow. $10, y'all.
What a deal.
$10.
Yep.
Yeah,
$10.
go do that. That is ridiculous.
Ages 19 and older, ACC students get in for free with a school ID, and $7 for youth ages 18 and under. Group sales of 15 or more are priced at $5. So if you got friends and family to get together, so there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And then just to back up on the just to close the loop, they only have out to next year projected for the men's tournament, and it's DC. I thought they had some more, but apparently not.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Yeah.
So did we talk about ACC State finishing ranked 3rd in the country? Did we talk about that? I was looking stuff up.
I mentioned it. Yeah, how they're right now 3rd in the country, which is phenomenal, to say the least. Now, it's Penn State's show, and everybody is just joining it. So
but you never know.
But I think our best team finish was 6th.
I thought
I
it was
don't think
Force
it
one
was it
time.
four?
Okay, it was
Who's
4 to
two right
6.
now?
6-2.
4 to 6, something like that. It was back in Machiavello's year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Who's
I think that was
two right now?
2018.
Penn State's
Iowa?
one.
I think Iowa or
Iowa.
yeah.
I would bet Iowa. I bet it's Penn
Yeah.
State and then Iowa. So, but still, so that's what I'm saying. Like, even if we can get back to that level, whether it was 4 through 6, whatever it was, and even possibly even get third. But again, I mean, it's so tough. Like, it's such a tough environment. And again, it's definitely the Big 12's show in wrestling. So,
Big 10.
But anyway, Big 10, God, well, again, Big 12, they're liars. There's no
Well,
truth
Big 10
in
has 14
numbers.
teams.
I know, yeah, no truth in numbers. That's why the ACC is a beautiful thing. There's no number contract, So yeah, we're just ACC.
I think Pac-12 has 10.
Yeah,
It doesn't make
yeah,
any sense.
it's all over the place. But infinite hate on there points out Trombley will be a 1 seed, and also Ryan Jack should be a 1 seed too, and he'll be up there. So make sure to go check it out next Sunday at Reynolds Coliseum. So I'm telling y'all, over these next 2 weeks, it's gonna be crazy. You got women's basketball, wrestling, and then men's basketball going on, and then also too got to give a shout out to ICEPACK as well. Got to talk a little bit about that here, as that game was absolutely phenomenal. So
Yeah.
first thing which I got to laugh at was the fight that happened in the stands at the beginning of the game.
It took 8 Carolina
And
guys to go at one state
to get White Stanford. Now the one
That
thing
big
which
old
is
farmer
kinda
boy
funny-
was just whooping some tail.
yeah.
He was like, bro, these are like flies to me. Get them off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, just batting them away.
Right.
No, well, I from what I've heard, that fight started pretty much the way that I know that me and Greg almost got into a fight, and probably a lot of other people staying UNC
The way
fans
that
almost got
every
in a fight.
starts, yeah.
Well, just basically because UNC scored 30 seconds in, and the UNC
Not
fan
even.
beside us was yelling easy, and then what was it, a minute and a half in, we scored, and so what did we do? Easy,
Right back at 'em.
easy, but like even
I
more
were easier.
And-
Yeah.
yeah, easier, yeah. and it was funny. Like, actually, there was a young lady in between me and the UNC fan, and she kind of like did like an armbar thing, just like to kind of keep me as much. I told her afterwards, I was like, I appreciated that, just kind of help, just kind of keep me at bay, because
appreciate that.
I was letting him have it easy. Yeah, no,
Carolina
just-
fans, they were just down bad. Like if you,
I know they were putting it all on red, like they were just, or all on black, like they were just like listen, I've already lost 3 times in a row. I'm just gonna put it all in on this game and just see what happens.
And then you lose a fight on top of all that. Like you lose all 4 games, and then you wake up with a black eye from one state guy the next morning. Like that had to be.
I'm gonna pull an old reference here. Anybody know who Roger Murtaugh was? From what movie?
Roger Murtaugh.
No.
Lethal Weapon.
It rings the bell.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Danny Glover.
Yeah.
He's down on the ground and goes, "I'm too old for this stuff." That's what I felt like against these Carolina kids. I'm like, I'm too old to fight you kids, but I will just whoop your
I
tail.
will.
Right.
I will.
I told Greg, I was like, I was so hoping it would be Greg come out of that little huddle.
The
of
video,
Carolina
just
people.
the state fan
swinging.
turns around and it's Greg.
I'm like, what's up?
Yeah.
Like bouncing heads
Made me
against each
so
other.
happy. I'd have been like, guys, don't send it to Leighton. Don't tell Leighton.
Well, Leighton would have been right there. If that
Oh
was
yeah,
Greg.
Leighton would have been hyping him up.
Look at Greg
for
go!
sure.
Look at Greg go!
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Fucking talk goes live on
that's
Instagram.
well, that's what I did. That's what I did when Greg went on the field at Keenan Stadium. I was just like, yeah, Greg's about to get arrested. Let's go, Greg, go get arrested, man. You got this.
I like how he's pro Greg getting arrested, but Mackenzie looks at someone sideways. He's like, Mackenzie.
Right? Greg can go on the field waving a flag, but God forbid I flick off a camera. Like, and it's like,
Hey,
they always catch me at the wrong times. I didn't do it at the
know.
Carolina
Hey.
game, though. I'm actually
No,
proud of it.
you were well behaved, allegedly.
Mhm.
Yeah, no one called me. I'm good.
Good.
Which actually Cam does point out a good thing. Have we talked about Wolfpack men's basketball yet? Yeah. No. Cam, we
Not
talked
enough.
We have a team?
all through that. Yeah, we talked all through that
that's
here at the
funny.
beginning of it, Cam. So
Yeah.
so maybe
If you
finish
got
out
any
with us here.
questions, post them, and we'll answer
Yeah, if
for
you have any questions, Cam, post them, and we
They're
can
coming
touch
to
on them.
live. No one's coming in.
I know. Well, you know, I think it's kind of, you know, hey, I mean,
Well, it's
we
not
we
our
have
normal night.
yeah, it's not a normal night, so that probably didn't help either. So we'll try it again. You know, on a Monday night. So maybe, but yeah, Cam, I would say just hang in here and then go back and rewatch the beginning part here, as we definitely talked a ton about that. But ICEPACK. So first thing, those uniforms were all that and then some, as publicized for sure. I mean, just gorgeous, to say the least, for sure. On top of obviously, you know, beating them 7-3, but just man, like it was so cool. And again, literally my you know my uncle who works for state athletics at Carter Finley literally said that they expected around 8,000 to 9,000 at the most.
Yeah.
But then 24 to 26,000 showed up. And I even heard as well that Mario with red and white had, you know, they had a setup, you know, of ICEPACK gear they were selling, and they actually ran out so quickly that Mario actually sent a red and white staff person to go and get more and bring it, just because they were selling that fast. So
That's
I mean,
awesome.
yeah,
I bet I made a lot of
I'll
money
talk
for
to him
that program,
Saturday.
too.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I was well.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing too, and I'd be curious because I actually haven't asked Coach about this, but I know they had to pay $50,000 to play that game, and so which you
Isn't
know,
that crazy?
I
yeah,
think
50,000.
that's
Which I mean,
ridiculous.
I mean, again, it makes
Already
sense.
there. Basically,
know.
they're
Yeah.
just going. Yeah, like it's already.
Well,
Here's the
but
thing.
it's keeping it going.
Yeah, keeping the ice frozen.
Right,
Just make a point real quick.
Not much.
But let me make a point just real quick. How much money did the NHL make off of that game on Saturday night? And
ton.
you couldn't just throw in
yeah.
$50,000 to the script, let them play the game for
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and again, you know, now the one thing which I will say is, again, I mean, so just to remind everybody, so the tickets were free to get in, but they were asking for donations. So I mean, I would assume, you know, basically what, $2 a person, that was covered. You know, I would assume. Now again, I don't know for sure, but I would say between merchandise, I would say between, you know, donations, they got that covered. So not really worried about that. But the biggest thing which I'll say though is like it's I got to give all the respect in the world to Coach Tim Haley. Like, you know, I put out a tweet out there. Like this guy, like I'll tell you this because he called me, but basically he was actually the one making the script of like what songs needed to be played. Like he was the one actually doing it. And he basically called me and be like, because he wanted it to be as identical to a football game day experience as possible. So basically that's why he called me. Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will. And so basically what one thing which I want to say is, again, I mean, this guy now, because he has a full-time job that's not ICEPACK, and then he's the ICEPACK head coach, and then he's in charge of the trademark, he's in charge of the marketing,
all the business stuff,
all the business stuff, the logistics. He does all that. Like he doesn't have an operations guy. He doesn't have he does all of it. Like
I don't think he takes a salary either, does he? Or does he get a couple dollars, maybe?
A couple dollars here and there, but nothing to write home about for sure. So, you know, so now the next question is, you know, when are they going to become a varsity sport? You know, which that's a whole conversation, which Healy has answered a couple of times. And I know Joe Gilio and Ovies had the UNC head coach and talked about that. So if you want to know more about that, go check it out, 99.9's YouTube channel, and they have the interview with the UNC head coach. But so Infinite.
Well, one thing real quick, because I was aware of this and Michael brought it up because someone actually asked that on Twitter and Michael nailed it. If we want hockey to become a Division I sport, you have to either drop another male team or add a female team. So it's not just a one for and you're done. So you have to incur two sports worth of cost. So you know, where do you do that at? And my guess is you find some kind of cheap sport like, I don't know, like lacrosse or something. I feel like that wouldn't cost a lot of money. I don't know.
Yeah. No, and so maybe, you know, for sure. But now Infinite, hey, I know Greg, you want me to bring this up. So he asked the question. I guess the $10 parking fee paid for some of that $50,000.
Wrong. I can pretty much guarantee you none of that.
That wouldn't.
No.
PNC, all their staff, that's their money. I would be shocked. Now, I don't
Yeah.
know this for a fact, but I would be shocked if any of that money went to the $50,000.
Well, the one thing which I do know is that in terms of NC State for the Stadium Series, like probably however much you guess we made off of it, we actually didn't make that much in terms of money off of it. But what we got in terms of publicity, I mean, was priceless to say the least. I mean, so I think that's honestly what it was just basically Boo just saying, listen, like, we don't need, a cut off of everything. Like just we want to be in a positive light. So that way, whenever we say, hey, NHL, put our band in there to play Rock You Like a Hurricane. And like everybody's gonna be talking about how literally a NHL team came in with a college marching band playing their intro song. I mean, how legendary and how cool is that? Like, so yeah.
My guess is the only cut State got was off of concessions. And
yeah,
just probably yeah, it was probably a flat fee and maybe a percentage over anything above and beyond a certain dollar amount. Yeah. Again, just guesses, but
yeah, for sure.
But if they were only expecting like max of 10,000 people, then they probably made out better than they thought they were going to.
No, we're talking about the Stadium Series.
Stadium
Series. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure they made pretty much all that money on Monday. Now, Carolina might have made some of it during the alumni game. I would imagine, since that was a sponsored event for them. But again, without being in the negotiating room, I think we did well on Monday. I think they probably got maybe 2 to 5% of concessions, something, and they probably didn't have to pay the electric bill that day, something like that.
Right. So Cam also asked, do the ICEPACK have any more games left? So Cam, one thing which I'll say is make sure to go and check out our episodes with Victor Hugo that we put out last week, and we kind of talked about it. But basically, long story short, is that this weekend, actually tomorrow, UNC and Penn State play in the ACHL championship game, which that's a whole crazy thing, which we also talked about with Victor Hugo. But I couldn't imagine playing basically 2 weekends ago. They played the ACHL tournament, which is where I went and did the intro, the hyped up the guys thing. And basically they played. And then Sunday they arrived at the arena and the lights weren't working at the arena. So they couldn't play the championship game. And the only time they could play it is the day before they had to play regionals, which basically regionals, you have to win regionals to make it to nationals. And in order to win regionals, you have to win 3 games in a row. So meaning that basically UNC and Penn State, who play tomorrow night, they have to play tomorrow night to decide who wins the ACHL and then go to DC and win 3 games in a row in order to make it to nationals.
And by the way, that game Friday night's in Winston-Salem.
Right. So basically meaning that either way, if you win it, then you have to go from, we won, to you have to bring it back down and get going again. Or you have to basically get kicked in the nuts and then say, all right, now go win 3 games in a row. I mean, hopefully that's not too bad for anything, but I think it's an extra level because again, you waited, 2
have
weeks.
to get baby teed.
Yeah, you have to get baby teed. Yeah. But because again, I mean, because it's, I think it adds an extra level because you literally waited that whole time, like just to play that daggone game. And you didn't even walk out with the hardware. Like, one of those teams has to incur that. So, and
actually, you have an update here, Leighton.
Go ahead.
Right here. Here you go.
Oh, the playing some what?
That makes sense. The tournament probably starts Friday. That probably makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that probably does make sense. But at 11 p.m. Holy
when you get ice time, like that's the crazy thing.
So.
I was reading some of the comments about the Frozen Finley game, and the one guy's like he played club hockey at Michigan, and they would practice at 11 o'clock at night because that's the only time they could get ice time for their thing. And the other thing too is they charge for the ice time, so the later you go, the cheaper the ice is, I'm sure. So
right,
sure,
yeah.
So
no, that's true. So basically, we still have at least one more game. This I guess tomorrow or Saturday, whatever it is, against UNC. So and again, obviously all the UNC fans are saying, well, we're still 3-2 against State on the season, right? Well, yeah, but we've won the last 2. I'm just saying. So and also too, we're gonna have fresher legs than you no matter what. So just saying. So anyway, so just want to throw it out there. But yeah, y'all, and again, I just love to all the UNC fans coming at us, pointing out just history book stuff. I'm like, listen, y'all, everything you're bringing up to me here is history book stuff. Like listen, that's it's like being a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. Like, you're just living in the history books, right? No, I'm just kidding. So
you do know I have the ability to remove you from your own podcast.
Right now.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just sitting here going, like, dude, like, the Hurricanes look phenomenal. Men's basketball looks phenomenal. Like, pinch me, I'm dreaming. Like, it's a great time right now. So
when's that all gonna fall out? Because it's coming, right?
Chill, Greg.
Exactly.
No, I'm just saying that's what most fans are thinking. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking that.
Right. No, it ain't gonna happen.
Never.
Ain't gonna happen.
Hop on the bandwagon with me. Come on.
Yeah, hop on with it. Let's go. Yeah, so man, what else? Oh, baseball. I want to talk a little bit about baseball. Yeah, for sure. So starting off 4-0, beat Coastal Carolina convincingly last night, 16-4. Yep. At Coastal, which was a great win for sure. Coastal is definitely never going to be and never has been a pushover for sure. So to win so convincingly was great. And then, do we have a Tommy White part 2? No, I'm just kidding. No. I said his name. Oh my God. Somebody's got to clip that. Layton said the name. I'm sorry, number 47.
Nope.
No, but Parker Nolan, dude, like, man, what a game. Like, what was it? 2 home runs,
6
RBIs,
6 RBIs, and the triple shy of the cycle.
Hit 4 or 5.
Yep.
And again, a dominant center fielder to say the least.
See that catch he made too? Like, he had a good catch too.
Yeah, that was a tough one. So we look really good. Again, Sam Highfield.
So yep.
Me and Greg are on the same page right now, man. We're locked in right now.
Yep.
So seeing him, and he looked solid. Obviously wasn't dominant, but he looked solid. Say least in his first action.
Gotta work it. Yep.
Yeah, his first action since the Clemson series last year.
Almost a year ago.
So give him some time. He'll work into it.
But
I'm sitting here right now, honestly feeling bad. Like, I'm feeling bad for anybody. I feel bad for Avens and Hart right now, going, how the heck do I pick 9 players right now to bat? Like,
they've got a lot of bats.
They have a lot of options right now.
And arguably one of your better hitters, Noah Souls, has kind of missed the last game and a half.
He's got a
little bit of a foot issue. But he should be back. We still need to get healthy. I was talking about it on the live the other night. We still need our arms need to start getting healthy. Again, we can bank a lot of these wins right now, but we're going to need some arms come soon when you step up and play.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, no. Again, I think for me, it's it's great to see the things we wanted to see, come to fruition, meaning that we're seeing the depth that at the plate that we wanted to see. We're seeing guys pitching wise that, we're seeing the depth there. We're seeing, productive pitching even as well. And we're seeing Sam Highfield come, because I honestly wasn't expecting him against Coastal Carolina, but I saw him. I was like, I guess that makes sense to bring him in just kind of in a midweek game, in a game where we were pretty much controlling it.
We're coasting.
Yeah, we're coasting. Bring him in. Yeah, not
against Coastal.
Yeah, coast. We're coasting against Coastal. So it was great to see. So and again, I'm excited for it. I know that here we got another slower series here this weekend here. But I'm looking forward to it, y'all. It's gonna be a good season, I think, for baseball. So
we have the one thing I will say, we have committed 4 errors through 4 games, so still need a little work on that. It hasn't hurt us yet.
What a Debbie Downer.
I'm just giving facts. I'm like Fox News. I report, you decide. So
yeah.
That's what we were about last year.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing which I also got to give out a shout out to, because my wife would give me crap if I didn't, but got to give a shout out to gymnastics a little bit too, y'all.
Yep.
For 3 straight weeks being in the top 25 in a league this year, which is guys heavy at the top. Again, for those who don't know gymnastics, like right now,
we're not talking about their weights.
Yeah. Well, Yeah. Okay. No, but basically,
I love Greg.
now you love him. Come on, kids, get on
I've
one side,
always
stay
loved
on
Greg.
it.
Me and Greg are besties.
No. Yeah. But obviously, Suni Lee, who was all around Olympic gold medalist, she's at Auburn, and so Auburn's dominant this year. But you got Florida, LSU, Oklahoma that are just killing it right now, and then you got basically teams like us, teams like UNC that are just trying to be on the back end, just being like, hey, we'll just be back here, y'all. Let us know if you need us. Like that's pretty much what NCAA gymnastics is looking like this year, y'all. Just to kind of give you kind of a teaser for what it looks like. So, but I know this weekend they're still in DC or Philly this weekend for a meet, but definitely make sure to stay tuned, y'all. And I know they at least have one more meet here at Reynolds Coliseum, so make sure to stay tuned for that, and make sure to come to that meet because the girls look really, really solid this year. So make sure to go check them out on that. What else do we need to touch on? I mean, softball is starting out slow, but we'll just kind of just wait to be seen on that. I think that's pretty much it. Unless I'm missing anything else. Yeah.
We mentioned it on Monday, but swimming and diving, ACC champs, men's.
Yes. Oh, yes. Totally forgot about that. Yes. No. Swimming and diving, one of the most dominant ACC tournament finishes of all time.
With it.
Oh, they killed it. They absolutely killed it. They wasn't even close. And obviously, women finished second. But even still, I mean, both teams are going to be top 10 heading into nationals, which I mean, so basically they're still right there in the hunt for sure. And I to me, like men have been dominant for some time for swimming and diving. To me, I'm honestly sitting here waiting for them to win a natty. Like honestly, that's kind of where I'm at with them. Like we're so close. Like we're right there. We've been top 5 for a while. It's like, all right, now it's time to go get it done. Let's go win it all.
Yeah, we've been good to have at least probably one national champion. It seems like every cycle. It seems like we're getting at least one individual national championship. I think we had either 1 or 2 last year. So
we had a couple.
Expect,
we had a couple.
Yeah, I think we had 2 last year.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So,
I think. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You think? Go ahead.
No, I was just pulling something up that just to look at. How many ACC championships we won in a row? Because I think it's 7 of the last 8.
Yeah, we've been pretty dominant again, and that's the thing. Which again, another thing which just drives me crazy is again Braden Holloway, and most of our coaching staff here at State. I have to remind you once again is very, very young, y'all. Like these are guys that are at the top of their field. They're young. They're going to be at the top of their field at NC State for a while. So just take it in, enjoy it, take advantage of it, y'all. I'm telling you, go support these athletes. Again, I mean, swimming and diving is free to go see. Men's tennis is free to go see. Wrestling is like $100 for a season tickets. Like maybe not even that. Like just I'm telling y'all, like just go do it if you haven't already. Make sure you go do it. And I know it's a little bit late in the game for these sports, but I'm saying for next season, just go ahead and get in your head, y'all. Go check it out.
Tennis is still going strong, so that's something you can.
Tennis still at the early stages. Yep. So yeah, you could definitely go check out tennis. And again, they're free. And again, like most of the time they have meets during the weekends. And again, tennis is right beside baseball. So if you want to go do a doubleheader, go see a tennis match and then walk right across the street and go see baseball.
And here's the thing, they don't rain out. So if you go to baseball and it's rained out, they just move tennis indoors.
They move indoors.
So then you don't have a wasted trip. So there you go.
Exactly.
And you can bring your own food and drink in there. So, you want to bring your little Scooby snack and some soda pop, you can go enjoy some tennis.
I love that. Yeah. Now, the one other thing which I wanted to bring up to y'all was UNC, Austin O'Connor. I know for me that's still something that sits in the back of my mind going, man, that was a gutsy move.
We talked about that on Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay. But so I guess I want to give my 2 cents. But I mean, to me, I didn't have an issue with it in terms of like I took offense to it necessarily, anything like that. But just to me, it was just like, okay, you got it, but you're writing a check.
Yeah.
You're writing a check that the rest of your team has to cash now. Like, you know, you're
And they
pissing
did
off
not.
the guys that the other guys have to see. Like that's
They're
the
like,
issue.
oh,
which I
great,
have with that.
Austin.
Yeah,
Right?
thanks, Connor.
Yeah.
You just
Thanks,
pissed
buddy.
them off.
Appreciate
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So
Dirtbag.
yeah, exactly. Like for me, it's kind of like in football being like an offensive player and saying, yeah, our defense is gonna crush you guys. And it's like,
Yeah.
you don't play defense. Like, you know, don't
Yeah.
write those checks. Like,
Right.
you know,
Did they
Chill out.
did they win another match after that?
one more, but it was 125. We didn't wrestle Trombley. We wrestled somebody
That's
else.
kinda like-
so it doesn't even count.
No.
Yeah.
Right?
That's kind of like Matt Hasselbeck against the Green Bay Packers going, we're going to take
Yeah,
the
we're
ball,
gonna go down.
win.
We're gonna score.
We're going to score.
Of course, that was a check
I
he
mean,
could
that
have
one was
cashed.
yeah.
That was a check
yeah.
he could have cashed, which he didn't cash.
Yeah,
so.
but the
Uh.
point is like just be careful what you say.
Yeah, well, and again, like, you know, at least you know, I'm always a preference guy, being like, you know, don't necessarily go like look at the other guys. Like, if you want to, you know, break something over your knee towards the fans, or, you know, if you want to raise the roof, you know, play the guitar or whatever, like, hey, go for it. Now, the one thing which I do want to say, because at the time I didn't know about it, but Trent, I saw him after Trent won. He like did like a counting thing on his fingers. I'm like, what is he counting? Like, what is that?
How many
And
times
then-
we beat them?
How many times
Yeah,
we beat him?
10.
But now we beat him 10
Yeah,
times in
10.
a row. I was like, oh, that's nice. Didn't even know that. So again, it's honestly kind of funny how literally I think ACC Network brought up the Clay Lout pin over Hayden just to make it seem more even than the series actually has been.
Mhm.
And honestly too, because again, I wasn't there, but my parents were, but they were saying that watching Hayden during Faison's match against Clay Lout was hilarious, because, you know, you could just tell that Hayden kind of had a like he was wrestling
He wanted to
through
be out there.
Faison.
Yeah.
He wanted Faison to get that redemption for Hayden, and he definitely did. Faison looked great against a really good wrestler in Clay Lout. So yeah, it was a great great duel, great match. Team looks great. And I think they have a really good shot of winning it all next Sunday afternoon. So, but Aiden, DM us. We're working on some right now. And then okay, Aiden also pointed out about the when the UNC game got rained out in baseball, how they went to the tennis match. So again, y'all, just something to keep in mind. It's an option out there. So anyway, so go ahead, Greg.
No, go ahead. You can finish. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was really wrapping it up. So you got it.
Well, I just the Austin Connor thing kind of reminded me of when the great Maverick got chewed out in Top Gun, and the commander was like, "Son, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash." And so that's exactly what Austin Connor did. And I'm all here for it to see get people embarrassed like that. So I think we can properly wrap the show now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh wait,
So-
say what Aiden just said. We're trying to beat. I forgot who we're trying to beat now.
Oh, make sure y'all go
Best
vote
bar
for the
town?
best bar.
Well, it's got to be Greenville, right? It's got to be Greenville versus
It's
Greenville
like
Hot Dogs, right?
We're like in a it's not just bar, it's bar town now.
Right.
Yeah. So
Greenville
Greenville is
just
on there.
bar. Greenville just had like
It's like a Twitter, poll thing you can go vote on. Raleigh's on there and Greenville's on there. I think those are the only two from North Carolina.
What and because that's the thing too, is that like, okay, Raleigh maybe
Bar town.
but maybe
We're 16 seed. If
but
that gives you
but
Hey,
state,
That sounds right.
yeah.
the Village, Cornerstone. I mean, that whole street gets pretty hype on weekends. UNC
Yeah.
players
Glenwood
come
does.
to ours.
Yeah.
That's
So
true. Well, that's because we have parking. So
no, it's because we have funner people.
Also true.
What kind of people?
More fun.
funner. We have funner, Greg.
That
Look
sounds
it
like
up.
a Carolina
More fun.
graduate.
Yeah.
They don't know where to
Yeah.
vote.
But hey, y'all, just to remind everybody again, as Caleb Love said again, UNC's not, we're not a rival with UNC. So, then they beat them four times out of 4. It doesn't mean anything because they're not a rival. It's not a big deal, y'all. Okay. It's just chill out. Okay. Don't talk so much
Another
about
game.
UNC.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Just
We're
another
gonna
game.
lose to Athens, Georgia. That is the ultimate bar town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to
The one
Athens,
seed
Georgia.
the one seed is Athens.
Athens is ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
that's a good scene.
I'll give them
We're
that.
up against them. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, shock the world, right? Shock the world. No, hey, cardiac pack, right? We've done it before. We can do it again, right?
We'll drink.
I mean, I could definitely drink a few of those Athens people under.
Yeah,
sure, but yeah, but yeah, I think that's also another funny thing too. I'm sitting here going, man, UNC scraped one out by the hair of their chin last night, and man, yeah, I'm already bracing myself that they're going to find a way to get in, but I'm sitting here going, if you don't beat Virginia, if you don't beat Duke, it's not happening. You have to win the AC tournament.
0 quad 1 wins. Yeah.
Well, they're praying that we win out, so they have one quad 1.
We could end up being a quad 1 for them. Yeah.
Yeah. How ironic is it that we could be sitting going, man, do we want to lose to make sure UNC stays out?
Kevin's telling everybody, all right, we're going to win this weekend, lose to Duke.
Yeah. So we're going to lose Duke. Yeah.
So last night, this is the thing that we should end on, and anyone in the chat can throw out there. If it comes down to the last game of the season, and we are tied with Duke, and we need Duke to lose to get the double bye, and they play against.
You talked about that last night.
What are you? Where are you going with this?
I'm not pulling for Carolina. I'm just not going to watch it.
Whatever happens, Ken.
I will never.
That's what I'm saying. Whatever happens.
Yeah.
The words will never come out of my mouth that I want them to win.
If they happen to win, that's fine. We benefit. If not, oh well.
Somebody has to win.
Hey, as I think UNC fans say whenever Duke and State play, we just want a meteor just to come in, we just want nobody win, just game canceled, like both teams lose, like move on.
I'll look at it
That's
as
the best comment right there.
I'm cheering for Russ.
Yeah.
You're ejected, and you're ejected. You're ejected. Yeah.
I'll look at it as if Carolina wins, I'll be like, hey, y'all really helped us out there. Thank them. Because that would just make them so that would make them so mad.
I'm hoping for a natural disaster where they have to cancel the game, no one's injured, and we just win by default.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. So yeah, but yeah, Keenan's got it right. I'm cheering for the refs. That's fair.
First time I've ever said that too.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, y'all. Again, just want to kind of remind again. So coming up. We got a ton. We got women's basketball tournament starting next week. You got ACC tournament for wrestling next Sunday at Reynolds Coliseum. Make sure to check that out. And then men's basketball the following week at Greensboro as well. So make sure to go check out tickets, y'all. If you haven't already, go do that. Again, this next 2 weeks here is going to be absolutely crazy. So make sure to go and take advantage of that. And to help take advantage of that, we actually are going to be doing a wrestling preview this week. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And to make sure you do not miss out on those episodes. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, y'all.
And
go ahead.
We're going to have baseball tickets to give away for Sunday.
Ooh, hey now. So make sure to stay tuned for that. So if you want to get in on that, make sure to follow us at Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter and Instagram, and to make sure you don't miss out on that giveaway. So we definitely need to get back. We haven't done a giveaway in a while.
It's been a little while.
It's been a little bit. So make sure you go and do that. And also too, men's basketball against Clemson Saturday noon, senior day. So make sure you go check that out as well. But again, y'all, just a reminder again, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. It's free to do, and that way you're notified on all your devices whenever we go out with any new NC State content. And also to y'all as well, just again, if you enjoyed this episode, if you liked what you saw, hit that like button for us, and we would really appreciate it. And just like I said already, hit that follow button on Tuffy Talk Now at Twitter and Instagram, and we would really appreciate it. But thank you all so much again for tuning in. We really appreciate y'all's support. Hopefully y'all enjoyed 2 parts of the Tuffy Talk live show, and we'll see y'all soon. As always, go Pack, y'all.
Ooh.